Hey there, guys. Thanks for joining the live stream. Sorry we're starting a little bit late. It's been a busy week for us. We've been really just kind of nonstop in the office. Before we even get started, though, we should probably do a little bit of station identification. This is the the Exploring ArchAge live stream. This is our 12th episode.
Wow.
And I know, I'm having a hard time believing that myself. Basically, we're going to be talking about a couple of things related to the game, but for those who are not already familiar, ArchAge is a free-to-play sandbox MMO. It'll be launching later this year. We're currently in alpha. We've got beta literally just... it is coming up so rapidly, guys, and we'll definitely have a quick little touch on that before we get started on our actual content, which is going to be talking about the secrets of Aranor. But before we get to that, a little quick introduction of myself. I am Evan, known as Scapes on the forums. I'm your community manager. I'm very glad to be here. And with me today...
I'm Kendall. I'm a localization editor for ArchAge, which means I help to edit the text you're seeing in the game.
So before... I'm already seeing the chat go off, so we're going to... quickly address that before we even get started. Beta. So as you guys know, we had patch 1.2, which actually is correctly called ArchAge version 1.2 build 4.1. We just worked on the formatting 2 weeks ago, so I had to remember that. Basically, that build did not have all of the localization features. Had a lot of them, but not all of them, and we're going to be introducing a future build with all those features later on. Naturally, it has a lot of people asking about beta. That's very natural and very understandable. Basically, we have a beta candidate build right now. It's being worked on by our QA teams, and they're working to integrate it with our database. What does that mean in non-technical jargon? It basically means that they're making sure that we can actually get it to work with the thing that puts your characters in the game. That's kind of the real cut-down layman's terms version. Once we have that going, we will make a lot of noise, and it'll be a very exciting time. But until that point, we're going to talk about some of the other cool things in the game, and but definitely keep an eye on the forums, the website. We're really very close to it. But for right now, I think we can focus on cool stuff that Kendall's been showing me actually in the game. A lot of interesting secrets of ArchAge, essentially. And actually just on the title, though, with regards to Aranor, that is the name of the world, we actually worked with the author of the lore of ArchAge.
Right, to get the sound and the meaning to be as close as we could while being in English.
And I remember it was an interesting process as well, because originally it was the combination of letters was very difficult to say in English. I don't even remember it offhand, but the rough translation was White Star. And essentially we worked with the translation and with the author and with XL Games, and Aranor is the name of the ground that you're walking on in the game. And so that is a slightly new thing. First secret revealed right there. But I guess before that, we'll get going with this live stream.
Switch it up here?
Yeah, so if we click that little button, hey,
Perfect.
It worked. I'm happy when it works. Cool. So we are going to log in here. Of course, you guys are familiar with Scape Explorer. For those who are actually not in alpha and have not been following any of the live streams, you'll notice some of the new some of the new loading screens, but moreover, that this is actually on live right now. This is going to be the live server where all of our alpha guys are. It is the alpha server, not the omega server. Again, for those who are also missing that information, we also launched a second server called Omega. It's identical to the alpha server. Only difference is that it's brand new, doesn't have anybody on it, and we wanted to test out what 1.2 felt like from the beginning. So, I am running on the wrong keyboard. That is why I'm not moving. I'm
Take that from you.
I was trying to play it very straight. It's like, game is not moving. Alrighty. So, of course, this is simply Marianople, but I think we're going to go to some slightly more
so this is a
unique
main city in the
areas.
game everyone has seen. We're going to teleport you somewhere a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
So this location is technically off the edge of the map.
Okay.
And
And
that
away we
means that
go.
only a few people have found it, I imagine. Hopefully. Otherwise we're going to get crowded really quick.
Nice.
All right,
Okay,
so you
we
are
actually
now
landed.
somewhere in the Southern Sea, and you're looking at a location that most people have not found. We're going to use this limited privacy to summon a very interesting NPC. So,
NPC.
what we're talking about today is secrets and hidden quests in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those is an NPC known as an Evenbard, which looks like this. If you turn around. There she is.
Where'd she come from?
So, Evenbards are kind of mysterious scholars, and they appear only in certain cities on each continent and only at night, and it's random in which city they do show up. They're involved in some of the very high-end hidden quest lines in the game. And actually, you don't have to have the quest to access some of their stuff. So if you interact with her now, you see she sells a certain series of books, and each of these books can trigger a quest if you walk by the right NPC while carrying it. So why don't you get that first one on the left there?
A wish come true. Okay, I'm going to purchase that.
We will get rid of this NPC before someone finds her and ruins the whole point of hiding her in the first place.
Right. Just for the record, they don't normally appear in random vistas, and beautiful as this is, and she's gone just like that.
Right.
Magic.
Okay. So hold on while I prepare to move you. So the fun thing about ArchAge, for me, I love to explore the game in general, and while there are a bunch of hidden locations that give you little rewards, there are also just really interesting locations that are hard to find on their own. Usually those are great places for secret farms or for just enjoying the world of ArchAge.
And they're secret farms. They're not illegal farms. I want to make that clear.
I'm going to summon you. We're going to cheat a little bit here because I know who you're supposed to talk to. So I'm the one who's been editing a lot of these hidden quests for the past couple weeks, and it's not going to be in until the next patch, I believe. But you can still do many of the mechanics in the roughly translated text.
So you've been writing virtual books, essentially?
No, actually, I haven't done the book pages, but I've done a lot of the quest dialogue. So if you turn around, you will see a librarian. So if you look at the tooltip on the book you picked up, the only hint you have of where to go, and this is why the hidden stuff in ArchAge is very difficult to find, is a librarian might be interested in it. And there are multiple libraries in the game and multiple librarians in them. So it's really takes some dedication to find some of these hidden quests. Why don't you walk up a little bit closer to the librarian and see what happens. There. So that is what we refer to as a proximity-triggered quest. You have to have the right item and walk by the right NPC. You would never get this quest unless you had these things. So why don't you talk to her? You can see that she gives you a quest like she would normally.
So we just saved the people watching having to watch like a whole yakety sax of us running around the world, visiting the librarians.
We're teleporting directly to the right person.
Okay.
So I want you to skip through that just to show that you can complete the quest.
So that's so that actually was receiving the quest right there. Sorry, turning in the quest and then a new quest.
Right. So she'll send you on a whole secret quest line that involves talking to some characters you've already met in the game, giving them new interactions, and actually doing some interesting things, higher level activities in zones you might have already completed, which is kind of fun.
But I get to keep the book.
You do get to keep it.
Okay, good.
Alright, so that's an example of a proximity quest.
Neat.
Why don't we show you just a straight-up hidden quest where you've got to find the right place to get it?
That wasn't difficult enough?
No, that was pretty simple.
I'm looking forward to these. And again, for those who are worried about spoilers, or now I know which librarian to go to, it looked like there were at least another 6 other hidden quests where you're going to have to find the right NPC in the right location with the right item. So, lots of other opportunities for adventure.
Alright. This is actually one of my favorite hidden quest combinations.
Extract, I completely would not have skipped the quest tactics, although we have a lot of other things to show off here. So I believe I've got to turn around.
Right, and then hit X just so you dive back down a little bit.
Okay.
So this is a hidden shipwreck, of which there are many in the ocean. But this one is special because that guy in the center there is actually a very powerful undead. And if you kill him, he'll drop a letter, which if you open your inventory, we already gave you.
I'm drowning. Okay.
So that letter will actually trigger a high-end quest where you have to go find where you should turn it in.
Okay.
And if you complete all of these, you actually get a very powerful item, which we've already given you on the right there.
Yep.
Which is the underwater breathing device.
Can I equip it now?
Activate it? Yes.
Okay.
So that gives you 10 minutes of breathing underwater. You don't need to summon a boat. You don't have to wait 20 minutes to use it. It's actually a very powerful item for anyone who enjoys raising treasure from underwater or exploring underwater dungeons, which is some of the best ways to make money just from PvE content. So why don't we show you one of the cool things you could explore while using this 10 minutes of underwater time.
Yeah. Because actually, for those who, well, they would have had no way to know this. When we rehearsed this, I kind of forgot that I was drowning, and we were doing this swim around the guy.
You
died. And I drowned, and I was like, we got to figure out how to make that not happen. So what's great is this rebreather does exactly that.
All right, I'm going to summon you. Now, your map is closed, yeah?
Ignitar, I'm going to challenge your statement of bull. We are definitely aware that people were a little bit concerned about the change. Ooh, I love this place too. People were a little bit concerned about the change to exploration, how we took away Nui tiers as reward for exploring the hidden places of the world, the far distant corners, all that. We have already been talking with Excel Games about how to reintroduce the reward behind finding these locations, and I assure you, it's something we want to return to the game. So, no worries there. And actually, I know that you were even talking to the team about that as well.
I actually worked a lot on finding all the secret locations. We'll be dealing with those later. So while there are no Nui's tiers right now, the secret bags that you find that used to have just a journal and a Hereafter Stone now also contain money, anywhere from like 50 silver to 1 or 2 gold. So if you're starting out, say when it goes live, and you know where these locations are, you can actually make a decent chunk of change by exploring the world as you do the campaign, which I like. Mm-hmm. So, this is actually one of the most famous C-Rex in ArchAge. This is the Seawise Queen, and this is another example of hidden content. So, if you were just swimming by it, there's no quest icons popping up, you would never know. But if you have, say, a 10-minute rebreather, and you want to swim around and explore that wreck, you can actually find hidden chests that have quest items in them. You can kill certain NPCs that will give you keys to unlock all sorts of new content. It's one of the cooler ways to experience high-level content that you didn't know was possible. Let's see here.
And then again, when I was drowning during the rehearsal, I swam all the way to the top, and you can actually see there's a huge swath of seagulls above it, so it's a good indicator of, where to find this particular location.
Let's see. Are you almost out of time there?
No, I'm still breathing. I got another 7 minutes left,
right.
thankfully.
I'm not panicked then.
No.
Well, let's set you up in the next location.
No, I'll be shaking you. Drowning, need air. Getting some really bad Sonic the Hedgehog flashbacks right now.
Let me summon you away. Okay, so I'm actually glad some of you guys brought up the hidden locations, because that's a little bit of an event we're doing today, which is because I helped name a lot of these locations, as you'll see as the text changes, had to find many of them using the maps provided to us. And I noticed that you guys have been using player-made maps, mainly a Korean map and a Russian map. And while those are good, they definitely don't have everything. So I thought I'd challenge you guys by finding 3 locations that aren't on any of the maps I could find online, and see if you can get there in time to find the trade packs we're going to drop there. So why don't you walk in there, and I will drop some trade packs.
Walking in there. Actually, I guess I could drop the, walking's fine, because precarious bridge is precarious. And there we go. Some little fireworks.
Hey, cool. So that proves that that's one of the hidden locations.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look to your left there, I'm going to be dropping a couple trade packs.
What is that? It's magic.
Let's say 3 of them. So this is one of my favorite hidden locations, because to get these trade packs, there actually isn't a gold trader in this location. So you would have to either fight your way to the only airship line out of here, or my personal favorite, land boat back over the mountains into Gwandid Forest, which I really hope someone does.
I don't know, these mushroom pop has look pretty good. I might just grab one myself.
So did you give them a shot out the doorway just so they have a basic idea?
I'll give them a little visual tip.
All right, that's your tip for where it is. Some of you might know where it is, some of you might not. Best of luck to you all. Yeah. It looks like there is not peacetime right now, so you're going to be fighting for it.
Uh-huh.
Give me just a moment. Let's show you the next one.
Yeah. Since I guess we're at almost halfway point already, man, time's really flying. Wanted to reiterate something about the beta for those who are just joining us now. We know you guys are really eager about beta. We have a beta candidate that's right now going through QA. We're working on it literally as fast as we can, working with Excel to make it happen. I assure you, you won't miss a thing when it comes time to actually talk about it. We'll make lots and lots of noise. There's no change in our estimated window. We are still aiming for mid to late July, and that is what we have on that. Again, keeping it on the website, keeping it on our social media channels, best way to make sure that you are the first to know what's going on. And, of course, we'll send out emails. So, no worries there.
All right, so this next one is actually in Windscour, and it is a secret cave. And Windscour is also PvP and not in peacetime, so you have to fight for this one too.
It's very dark in here.
And one of the only ways to pay this one out would be to walk over to Arkham Iris to sell it. So why don't we drop some valuables here? Sure.
More up.
There we go.
Unistar bouquets. All right. A little variety in here.
There's only one way in and out of this area, so those of you who are fighting for it... Oh, is someone already trying?
I don't know. I see a...
Best of luck to you.
See a light down there. I think it's Gollum.
And that will go to probably the hardest one to find,
yeah.
But we'll see if the chat already knows where it is.
So we got some people coveting this rebreather.
It's pretty nice. The ability to have, instead of... So normally the rebreather lasts 10 minutes... and has 20 minutes to recharge. So if you have your boat's breathing device and this secondary one, you can spend 20 minutes out of every half an hour underwater, which if you're doing underwater content is pretty handy. Let me summon you here.
Yep. Now you got me worried that somebody was already down there.
That's fine. If they can find it and get it alive, they deserve it.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
so
hey,
this
fireworks.
is actually a underwater cavern, and it's somewhere in the Arcadian Sea. It is actually beneath one of the islands in the Arcadian Sea. And let me drop some trade packs. They're worth a couple gilda each. In just a moment. There we go. Oh, sorry. Technical difficulties.
Uh-oh. While you're working through that, I wanted to address some of the things in here. Let's see. People asking about beta giveaways. Yes, we will be doing beta giveaways. They'll be invite-based, and they'll be done via email, as in you'll receive them via email. They will start after we've entered the closed beta test phase. Folks asking about 1.2 changes. Obviously, we had a lot of snap sort of knee-jerky reactions to the initial patch notes for 1.2. That's expected, and we totally get that. We're definitely eager to see, though, what the response has been now that it's been out for a couple more days, a little more time to actually try it out and get a feel for how 1.2 plays. That's really the feedback that we're interested in. That's the feedback that XL Games is interested in. And we're definitely talking to them about your feedback on the forums, about every topic that under the sun, really every topic in the game. So while I can't answer what is and is not being worked on this particular live stream because I am not XL Games, I can assure you that your feedback is being heard, and we are definitely eager to have it. For the folks asking about level 55, level 55 cap at launch, that is actually going to be not the case. We'll be launching with level 50, as it currently is in alpha. We also will be having level 50 cap in beta as well. And then one last one, then I'll let you continue the thing. Asking about Marketplace, since we got a lot, or at least one person saying Marketplace a whole lot. We do plan to have it available during alpha. It is going to be in a later build.
So before I teleport you out of this cave, there's one more thing I just have to mention because I love it. This cave is actually involved in one of the longest and most complicated hidden quests I've ever encountered. Once the Serpentis dungeon opens up, you're going to be able to find a quest item that triggers a quest involving this cavern, where to get the best ring in the game, you have to defeat something like 16 world bosses by traveling over the world. 2 of those bosses can only be summoned if you have this hidden quest line. It's a blast. The ring you get is amazing, and it's probably one of the coolest endgame things you can do in this game once we get some more content in there.
It isn't called the One Ring by any chance.
It's the Ring of Dreams.
Oh,
it's
Ring of
fun, though. It actually, on hit, gives a debuff to whoever you hit's magic and physical defense every time you hit them.
That sounds pretty dreamlike to me. You can only complete the quest once, right?
Right.
Okay, good.
Let me get you out of there. Just back to Mary Noble.
Seems a bit much otherwise.
Alright, so that's our little tour of some of the hidden content in the game. There are plenty more quests I haven't talked about. Speaking of proximity quests, where you have to have a certain item, I know for a fact there is one quest that only triggers if you have the talking chicken in your inventory, which is kind of funny. But there's all sorts of quests like that. So if you think you've done everything on ArchAge, you definitely have not, I guarantee.
So, with that in mind, I'm definitely eager to open up to questions in the chat. We're going to be doing a giveaway probably in about, 10 minutes or so. But until then, I know I'm seeing a lot of really good questions in here. So, while this computer takes a minute to clearly load some textures.
Crowded, sorry.
A little crowded, yeah. Let's see, going through the questions that we've gotten. What do we plan to do versus bots? Really good question. Obviously, kind of important to us. Obviously, important to you guys as well. And so, what it is that actually we've got Excel Games working on new spam prevention measures, in addition to us really working on improving and streamlining our process for actioning the bots that are actually in the game. Our CS team has been really, really hard at work. We were not kidding when we talked about the 16,000 accounts banned, what was it, 3 weeks ago or something like that, 2 weeks, something. And it's actually now closer to 17,000. So essentially, we're learning from alpha. That's the whole reason why we do alpha, to test, to make sure that the game is balanced, that we get your feedback on that, but also to make sure that the game is safe, and that we see what tactics bots are using and how to confound them and prevent them from making life difficult for you guys. Kind of like that duelist right there. Nice Daft Punk. Let's see. I know I'm getting some other questions on specific things such as mana regen and elements like that. I do know that it was essentially a focus change to actually have more focus on making fights longer, increasing the time to kill, and that was obviously very different from 1.0. So it's going to take a little bit of adjusting to get used to. Now, we're very eager to hear your feedback on how this was going and how it feels to you as players. That said, it's not it's not an error. It's not a mistake. It's definitely part of a greater plan and part of a greater design. Let's see. Other stuff going on. So actually what we can do is you can actually, if you click over here, nice, then we can actually scroll up and go through
Cool.
questions as they come up, rather than seeing them all soaring by. Let's see, I saw folks asking, just to reiterate actually a question from earlier on in the day, earlier on in the stream, it was definitely asking about how people are going to get into the beta once we actually get started and underway with regards to giveaways. The giveaways will be per event, and we'll be doing them, again, starting with the start of beta, honestly. I mean, I don't have much more details on that. Daft Punk is clearly having some fun there, so we're going to actually let them take the car.
One of the questions close to my heart is, will there be any rewards for finding secret locations? Because you know that they removed the newest tiers.
Yeah.
So currently in-game, a couple of those... about 1 in 3 of those hidden locations have a bag with them that has money and a Hereafter Stone and the travel journal. And I believe we're currently in talks with XL to have a more consistent reward in all of them.
Correct. Yep.
Or at least more common than 1 in 3.
Right. Let's see, other stuff going on. Lots and lots of good questions. I'm seeing the question about skill queue, or it's really not been a question, it's really been more Brutus Lol posting repeatedly about skill queue. The short answer is that, for those who aren't actually familiar with the core issue behind all this, it's really more to do with ping-based abilities. And although that fix is not in this current build, it is coming to the game. It will be in before launch, because I know a lot of folks are concerned if they have higher latency, if they have... if they have a high latency, it's actually going to affect the rate at which they can use those abilities. The short answer is that we're turning them from ping-based to not ping-based. I don't have an ETA for that fix, though. Scapes, I'm really worried about offline, online labor regen being different. Good news. We have obviously heard your feedback. You guys were great, actually, about not just providing, the instinctive response to, your instant response to the. Sorry, I'm trying to run away from people who are. There we go. we're not sorry. It's not just a response to the initial patch notes and you guys saying like this isn't fair. It was also the considered approach that you guys took. A lot of constructive criticism, which is awesome, and we're taking that back to Excel. So we're definitely exploring different options for changing how online/offline labor regen is going to be handled. I don't have full details on that quite yet. We'll definitely make again a lot of noise when we do have a change in mind, but know that your feedback has been heard, and we're taking it back to the developers. What else? Cash Shop. So we have started to show off some of the things in the Cash Shop with the last live stream. However, we don't have it in the alpha quite yet. Our plan is to introduce it in the alpha, so we'll give people premium currencies, able to try out purchasing what it feels like, and also they'll have enough to actually work through most of the items in the store. I don't have an ETA for that either, guys, unfortunately. I know that we're working really hard on getting beta to a place where we can actually launch beta, because that's what we want to do. That's what you guys want us to do. But at the same time, we are definitely taking a lot of this feedback very seriously, and we also want you guys to try out the Cash Shop. What other fun stuff we have here? Can different races live in the same house? I know I've asked that question. I believe that there is not currently a way to actually transfer completely over to another faction. No private trades, thanks. But and that would actually probably, it wouldn't prevent, I guess, someone from having permissions, but technically no. You would not actually be able to live in the same house. You could see someone from another faction and not attack them. They could be on a pirate faction with you, I suppose, is a way to go about it as well.
You guys can't pick up the trade packs. Oh no, terrible mistake. All right, I'll look into that as soon as we're done. I'll see if I can get some new locations for you.
So
Sorry about that.
You got at least one person saying that they can't pick up the packs. Man, they found them a lot faster than I anticipated.
A couple of them got them very quickly.
Wow. All right, so clearly we have to find slightly more secretive locations, but that's okay. It just means that we will endeavor to do that and find locations that are a little more out of your way. Let's see. Nope. So, guys, a lot of this, questions about upcoming balance changes and upcoming changes to how we're going to be responding to your feedback. I just don't have it quite yet. We're compiling it. We see you in the forums. We see you on Alpha, and we are serving it over to Excel Games. And the minute that we have more details on that, of course, will come in our patch notes, and you'll see it there. How many races in the future? Folks, we really want to focus more on getting the game live. New races will be coming when they come. How long will closed beta last? Another good question. It'll be for a series of actually 3 to 5 day events, and we're going to start off smaller in terms of giveaways and then scale up as we get closer to open beta. Open beta will then... Sorry, I'm getting run over. All right, I'm on a ride now. Actually, if you wanted to switch over to Big Dev, since I'd rather focus on their questions rather than making sure that I'm not getting run over. I can actually just log out. That's a good point. While that's going on. Cool.
I'll look into those trade packs.
Yeah, so while working on the trade packs, I'll answer some more of these good questions here. Let's see. Changing race gender in the future. I want to say that there will definitely be actually a cosmetic change option. I don't know if it'll be all the way for race and gender, though. That's a good question. No info on the extra races, as mentioned earlier. Questions about marriage. Guys, we've talked about the marriage a couple times. There's not actually a marriage system in the game right now. You can, however, work with... sure enough, there are people at the trade packs. Nice. You can actually, though, set your family to have different permissions for your housing, for your storage, and effectively... and you can also have names, titles in the game that effectively grant the same thing as if there was a marriage system. Is open beta going to happen in events, or will the servers be up all the time? It will be for, much like the beta events themselves, they'll be for 3 to 5 days. I believe it'll be for a slightly longer period than that, though. And obviously we're going to focus first on getting closed beta events done with, and then we'll have more details and specifics on how open beta itself will work. Let's see. Expansion scrolls. I know that we've got a lot of folks asking about that. Bike Man, good to see you. Sorry, I'm also seeing the game here with somebody dragging me off into the corner, but you guys can't see that. I'll focus on the questions. Expansion scrolls. I don't actually have an ETA for when those are being introduced. I believe that they're going to be with the cash shop, which is probably why we're getting some questions on the cash shop. When we have that build, we'll definitely be sure to include that in the patch notes, and we'll have more details on that. Actually, if you want to pass me that mouse over there, I can scroll through more of the questions. Yeah. Because I'm seeing a lot of them in the other screen, but not in the big screen. There we go. Is glitching the trade-in turn-in point with a tractor grieving or legitimate gameplay mechanic? People on the forums are convinced that Scape said this is legit. So, what happened is that we believe that the tractor itself would not be something that could be immune to pushing, to collision. Unfortunately, it appears that it is. As such, it currently actually is preventing people from getting to the trade-in NPC, causing an environmental blockage in the world, and that is not cool. It is not the intent for someone to be able to simply place their vehicle and prevent an NPC from being interacted with. So we actually have a post coming up about that as well, just to be a little more specific on that one topic, because we actually talked about it, and we realized that it wasn't entirely fair. It's not scamming, it's not, it's basically literally preventing someone from accessing part of the game, and that's not cool. So we've actually talked to Excel about it, and the thought is that we'll be changing how the tractor operates to make sure that it can actually be pushed out of the way of the NPC. So, don't block the NPC, please. Thank you. When will taxes be fixed? That's a really good question. As people know, we've actually done it now where we actually have the system automatically paying your taxes for you. The notion being that right now the mail system is not working, and that is actually preventing people from paying their taxes using the in-game system. Not a great experience, we know, but we also wanted to make sure that 1.2 got more time on alpha, that you guys got a chance to actually play through the gameplay, the balance.
You've been murdered.
I have been murdered. I wasn't going to tell them that. But basically, we're also at the same time obviously working on fixing the taxes so that they can work as intended. It was not our intent to pay for your taxes in the game. So I don't have an ETA for that. Again, it's going to be, I would like to say it's in the next build. It's obviously a priority fix. Will Founder Pack owners get buddy keys for beta? We do not have plans to do that right now. I know that a lot of folks have been asking this one, but right now Founders Packs will grant you access to Alpha, Beta, and Head Start. Pre-download for beta. This has been a really, really popular question, especially with our folks with slightly slower internet connections. Totally understandable. So what we're working on right now is we are learning from how this went with the most recent update to patch 1.2 on alpha. Obviously, a lot of folks had slightly longer download times because their ISPs are a little bit slower or because they have bandwidth caps. And so our goal is to make it that the Head Start build, for those who are our founders, will be available early enough for people to actually patch up and get in the game the moment the servers open. What other stuff going on? Will the library and the new weapons stay on launch? The library will not be in at launch because that's actually level 55 content. I don't have an ETA for when it will return, more than likely when we actually raise the level cap to 55. Again, we'll be having our level cap at 50 to begin with and move from there. Beta needs separate installation. Will the beta need a separate installation from the alpha installation? That is an excellent question, and I honestly do not know offhand. I want to say it will, because actually internally when we have builds that are for alpha or for QA servers, it actually goes into a different directory entirely, and you have to re-download the client. So I want to say it actually will require a separate install, but I could be mistaken, because I am not in charge of our builds. But I will definitely follow up on that and figure out one way or the other. Scrolling on through a lot of repeat questions, but glad to see the interest. Question, where is our Panda mount? I would not mind knowing the answer to that either, but I do not have one. When will EU servers get online? Really good question. We obviously have heard from our EU players concerns about the fact that we were not able to make Omega be an EU server. The answer was that we wanted to make Omega to be an EU server, but unfortunately our resources in Amsterdam were not ready to make that happen. We were just as bummed as you. We wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for folks in Alpha who were in the EU to experience with lower latency. but unfortunately it was not possible quite yet. We will have EU servers available during beta. Let's see, other good stuff. How many servers will be at beta/release? Short answer, enough. The answer is that we're still finalizing the number, and we will definitely have a full list of the servers and their names and their regions when we announce beta. In fact, we're working on those announcements right now. Trade packs are broken. I know we've got. We're working on it right now to fix it up. That's why Kendall is diligently and fervently working on fixing the codes. No worries there. If we can't get them in time for this live stream, we will reintroduce them and make them work. Let's see, other stuff. Is Diamond Shore staying in the game? We actually talked about this earlier this week internally, and the decision was that I believe we're going to be actually removing it for launch. Because, again, it's more intended for the new level cap introduced in Korea. This may change, and if it does, it will be reflected in the patch notes. Escape Zone's the thing you're most excited about. Launch. I'm actually, no, quite seriously, I'm actually really excited to be able to play ArchAge with in earnest, and to be able to join a guild and be able to raise a castle and but honestly, I think really the most exciting thing I'm looking forward to is that first moment where I actually fell a tree. I actually, I might uproot it, I don't know. But I actually know that that resource is mine for good, and that, we're out of the testing phases, that we are, that everything that I do is permanent in the world, and that I am super excited for. I'm also really excited for beta, because it's going to introduce a whole new flood of players who have been really eager to try out ArchAge, to really, get their hands in it, try it out, and also, of course, post their own feedback on how the patch 1.2 feels. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. It's going to be really rapid, and I cannot wait. I really can't.
All right, guys, I am dropping trade packs right near those same locations. I figured out what went wrong. So those of you who are at the secret locations, I'm going to drop them nearby, probably on a nearby mountaintop, and you guys can find them.
Okay.
Sorry for the added delay there.
This is what happens when we try cool things.
Yeah.
It's all right, though, because that's why it's alpha. We're trying it now, because who knows? We may have events like this potentially in live. It may not be trade packs, because that could be a little input. But we definitely are looking at, to answer the other question, see, it's a little segue here. Somebody asking about sort of Western events, which I want to assume means in-game events that we're planning on doing. I personally love events, being a community manager. Hello. And I will definitely be working with our producers to see what is feasible in terms of giveaways in the game and contests and stuff like that. That's a repeat question on open beta about events. I'm going to scroll on. Actually, I'm going to scroll a lot down because I got a lot of new questions.
So many of you. I've given you too much time. All right, it's going to have to be a free-for-all.
Yeah. What happens to your house when your patron status runs out is actually a very common question, but I'll make a quick second on it because I know this is one of our players who was here actually, I think, 2 hours or 3 hours before the live stream even began, and I feel like he deserves it. The answer is very simple. Essentially, you have a short grace period after your patron status runs out. Oh, client just crashed. Short period after your patron status runs out, in which your house will basically start to say, look, you need to be able to pay taxes. You will not be able to pay your taxes, though, unless you're actually patron. So you have a short window of time, and then when that window runs out, I believe it's 2 weeks, your house will actually be removed from the land and will end up back in your inventory. So you won't actually lose the items that I think, if they're inside the house and the house itself, should return to you. If they're outside, like crops and such, I think you might actually lose those. But that is the answer to that. As long as you can actually continue to pay your taxes either through tax certificates earned through the auction house or through patron status, you will be able to do that. Let's see. I'd like to know what is the current plan with the tax issues. As a new player, I currently cannot place my 16x16, and it affects my gameplay as my progression is limited. As we mentioned, we're actually working with Excel to fix the taxation issue to make sure that players will be able to pay their own taxes. Obviously, right now it is actually preventing any new locations from opening up because all the taxes are being paid. This is not our ideal situation, and we are working to resolve it. I don't have a window for when that build is actually coming, though.
Sorry, that's one more bug pack. All right, I'm going to the third location. Hope not too many of you have found it already.
Hope not. Again, just to answer this I actually just answered. Do we know when the next patches will be reaching alpha? I do not have a window for that right now. Right now we're focusing on getting the beta candidate through QA and getting it live. Where are the servers located? I got this wrong last time, so I'm going to correct myself this time. They are in Dallas, and they are in Amsterdam. And I really hope I didn't get it wrong this time, because last time I said Chicago for the US, and I was way off. Scrolling down. Serious question. Is it possible to buy a wedding dress as a male character? I suppose that's a serious question. I don't know. I honestly don't. I want to say yes because I know that a lot of the other items in the game actually have both a male and a female version. I honestly don't know. Good question. I'll have to ask about that. Question about being able to queue for arenas from anywhere in the world so they can do other stuff while waiting for the queue. That is a really good question for Excel, actually. And I don't know if you see it, I've actually been taking notes, not during this one, but I take notes during the other ones, and I'm also taking notes up here. That's a really good one.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Your trade packs are now dropped.
Those are working now?
Very near those.
Fantastic.
The ones that were dropped at different locations are still frozen, but there are sets of 3 on nearby hills or mountaintops. You'll have to scout around for them. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Let's see, one other good one here, and then, man, is it really? I want to answer more questions. Will there be a vanity system, such a weapon or item skin, armor skin that can cover the endgame weapon or armor skin? I believe that you can actually transmogrify your weapon. That's probably not the actual word for it, but I've seen people talking about it, being able to actually swap the visual. And then on top of that, there's for the armor at least, there's always the costume piece as well. Will the alpha service be available during closed beta events? Really good question. We've actually changed this up a little bit. The first beta event will actually have the alpha server up. We're going to test it out, see what it does to our population in beta, and then we'll adjust accordingly, seeing if too many people stay behind in alpha, if we want to have more of a mass of people in the beta, we'll adjust for future ones. But the first one, alpha servers will be up. Tax and farming, cash shop, alpha down during beta. Will we be removing... That's actually a really good question. Will we be removing all the monsters and quests that are above level 50 since we are capping at 50? I want to say yes, but I do not know offhand. This is a really good question for our producers, and I will make sure to forward it on to them. Other stuff. Can we talk to Excel Games about cranking up the Arceum drop rate? We can. What I'd like to see is feedback, definitely. Cryptini, I know you're one of our actives on the forums. We've been talking since early alpha. It's something which I would like to see feedback on the forums about, the why, the rationale for it, and then what I can do is take that information to Excel. Is beta still scheduled for July? Okay, we're actually at nearly the end, so I guess we did it at the beginning. We can do it in the middle. We can do it at the end. Beta. The window has not changed. We are still focused on a mid-July to late July release for closed beta. We know that that's really soon. For those who were not at the beginning, we actually have a beta candidate that's going through QA right now. We're working to integrate it with our database, which in non-fancy terms basically means make sure that the data is flowing from the game and back to us so we can actually run beta. The minute that we get that done, we're going to actually go into announcing, and I don't have an exact window for that right now. It's just a matter of getting the beta candidate build approved, and we'll move on from there. But you will not miss it. We will make lots and lots and lots of noise. To the person asking about backpack slots for new characters, I do not know offhand. On a whim, I want to say 30, but I cannot remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. More than likely, one of your peers in the chat will actually be able to answer. Let's see. More questions about house running out, more questions about cash shop items. I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions, so we may actually be coming to the end here. I'm going to scroll down a few minutes ahead into the future. We've been actually answering a lot of the backshell questions. How many servers for Head Start launch? It'll be the same amount for the full launch. I don't believe we're going to be reducing the number of servers at Head Start compared to at launch. That's, again, what my information is right now at this moment. It may change, and if so, we'll have corrective information on that front. That's actually another good one actually about us opening Omega. Why did the auction house on the alphas connect? We were interested to see not only what a new server behaved like with the patch 1.2 changes, we also wanted to see what the behavior was like when we introduced a new server to an existing cluster. The current operation is that the auction houses are cross-server, and so it was a good test of that during a safe testing phase such as alpha. Better to do it now than during live. Seeing more repeat questions here. Again, males wearing female clothing. We definitely had a couple of questions on that. I addressed that earlier. In the patch notes, we said that plate armor would have magic resist. What happened? The answer is that our patch notes are, to the best of our knowledge, complete. Obviously, some things were missed. This was definitely not intentional. It's more that sometimes we have a couple of additions that we're able to fit in from Excel, and we endeavor to update the patch notes accordingly as best we can and as quickly as we can. For instance, we actually didn't even know that some of our localization changes were in with this patch. And so we were continuing to update the patch notes as accordingly. I want to say that it was intended to have that magic resist change, so I'm kind of surprised to hear that it's not. Obviously, we've seen the forum post to that effect. Yeah, but again, you can see it's like a lot of repeat stuff. Suzaku 0089 asking about monostars. Again, that's talking about the ping-based abilities. While that fix is not currently in this build, we do have it coming in a future build. We know it's important because obviously people have different pings. So that is something that is going to be fixed. I just don't have a window for it right now. An ETA for secure housing transactions. To my knowledge, actually, there was the ability to actually make secure transactions of the actual houses themselves, and actually had just been introduced for farms as well. Unless you're referring to actually being able to trade land, which I don't think is planned.
All right, looks like the last of the hidden trade packs have been found.
Wow, that was
if you're
fast.
getting there now,
I thought it was going to be like for at least until the evening.
they last a while.
Okay.
If you're getting there now, I apologize. I'll delete the ones that you can't pick up. That was my mistake. The real packs have now been found.
That's stunning. And again, information for me, because now I know that even if we think that it's a far-off, distant land, it's obviously not distant enough if we show you where it is first. I was worried, I was going to show them the mini-map or something, that I was going to accidentally hit M, and oh no, they're all going to be descending upon us. Good to know, and I think next one will make it a little more difficult. No worries there. Let's see, I know that we're coming up on... Oh my gosh, it's already 4. All right. Since I'm seeing a lot of repeat one, so I did get caught by someone saying, actually, Senpai noticed me, forgive me. How much armors are designed right now? I don't understand the question, forgive me. It's one of the fresh ones I'm seeing. Other ones before we do the giveaway. Oh, yes, thank you, a good one here. Can I put Apex in the auction house, or can I only sell it in a direct trade? Either. It's actually up to you how you want to trade your Apex once it's in the game. The auction house or trade are both options. Arkham is here fun. It looks like there's some resulting discussion about Arkham drop rates. Some folks saying that's too fast, others saying that it's not enough. Scrolling through. Sorry, guys, you asked a lot of good questions, but a lot of them are definitely repeat. I'm seeing a couple of people asking the question about triple slash being a little bit broken. I admit I actually have not seen the feedback on that, but when I go back to the forums, I'll look into that and see what people are saying and provide the question to the team and see what's up. And, all right, before we actually start doing the giveaway, I'll do one or two more. Person asking about Mac compatibility. Right now, we're focused on our PC release. And then another person asking about in-game images being checked. Actually, I saw a lot of people asking this one. It just kept on being skipped because I was focusing on game stuff. Also, because we've answered this one, we obviously want to minimize the amount of really rule-breaky, really vulgar stuff in ArchAge with the custom logos. This is one of the problems of having nice things, is that sometimes this is why we can't have nice things. Now, that said, obviously ArchAge is TTP, which if you want to look up the acronym, that's great. May be a little quick, but we do have our moderators on the case. We will be responding to tickets referring to people who may have misused the custom logo system for evil. And that is definitely how we're going to make sure that ArchAge stays clean and safe for our players. There won't actually be, at least at launch, we're hoping to not need a default moderation queue to actually approve everyone's images, because that just doesn't sound fun. It sounds like, one, it's a lot of work for us, and two, it's also, you want to be able to revel in the fact that you can enjoy your image right there in the game without having to go through a moderation queue. Now, obviously, if people start to abuse this and we start to see a lot of smut in the game that's not helpful, that will not be good, and we'll have to revisit.
So one question has to do with buying things on the Real Money House, on the store, without being a patron. My understanding is that's possible, right? You don't have to be a patron to buy things from the store?
From the cash shop, no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. There will be the loyalty store, I think it's called Loyalty Store, which will be available to patrons. All right. I do not know the ISP that will be used for the Amsterdam servers offhand. Forgive me. I am not that technically proficient with our server status over there. Again, most number of servers till. How many servers for Head Start? Again, mentioning it before, I don't have that final number. We will definitely make a lot of noise beforehand. Not a problem. No worries there. People talking about, again, if you have feedback, for instance, we've got feedback, healing is messed up in this patch. If you have feedback on how this patch affected your gameplay, your character, your class, we want to hear it. We want to hear it on the forums, and we want to hear it in more than just a soundbite. We want to hear how it's broken. Is it that your mana is not regenerating fast enough? Is it that your skills are underpowered? Is it that you're overpowered and that you're not feeling a challenge anymore? Is it taking too long to kill mobs? This is definitely the information we can take back to the developers and work on your behalf. But when I just hear it's messed up in this patch, I don't have a lot to go on. Now, obviously, we're going to go into the forums. We're going to see what this feedback is. This is probably just the breadcrumb leading to a greater discussion on the forums about each individual change. And rest assured, we're very active in reviewing the forum feedback. We've been watching since 1.2 hit alpha, and the feedback is definitely going back to Excel. So you are definitely being heard. All right. I guess with all that said, let's actually do the giveaway now. Hopefully Nightbot is playing nice.
Move this here.
Again, if you could be so kind, I'd love for you guys to follow the channel. It'll make it easier to reach out to you. All right. This is going to be a little hard to catch, but hopefully we'll be able to. Actually, if we pull up the...
You've got the mouse over there.
I do have the mouse over here. Thank you. That's not the one I want. Oh, jeez. So again, guys, the spamming is actually not going to help you out this time around. Oh, there it is. All right, great. Okay, moving right along. Okay, we got Nightbot's first winner. First winner is Atonisk21. I have a pen right here, or somewhere, or I'm going to borrow Mr. Kendall's. And congratulations, Atonisk21. Unmanageable spelling. Nice. We're going to do two more. And again, these are for alpha invites. We're going to actually reach out to you through the TrionWorlds channel here on Twitch. You should receive a message from us, and we'll ask you for your TrionWorlds account.
I have seen people on Twitch receiving messages from false accounts claiming they were winners.
Yeah.
Make sure it's from this account.
It actually says TrionWorlds. It'll be from either me or one of the other community team. So, and here we go, number 2. Come on, Nightbot, do your thing. Winner is Akawapt. Akawapt, congratulations. And thank you and Antidus21 for both following the channel. We really appreciate it.
One more in.
All right, and then we got one more. Oh, let me make sure I'm at the bottom here. There we go. And our final winner is Rainey, who also follows the channel. Congratulations, Rainey. So we're going to make sure to follow up with you guys over Twitch real shortly. That's with 3 E's. Good to know.
The only proper spelling of Rainey.
Of course. How silly of me. How could I even think it was anything else? So, guys, we are really close to beta. I can't express that enough. We are going to make lots of noise when we actually get to that announcement. Right now, like I mentioned, this will be the 4th time, but I don't mind saying it again. The build is here. The beta candidate is actually here. We just got to make sure it's working with our systems, and then we are go. Until that point, Alpha is live. We're going to be doing more of these live streams moving forward. I fully anticipate that the next live stream will be very interesting. But until that time, we thank you guys for joining. I'm sorry I couldn't answer every single question, even the repeats. I would be glad to answer them. One more on the submarine, because I know that was a big topic. Right. We even talked about it beforehand. To the folks who actually have been building submarines before 1.2 and noticed that they changed a lot. The answer is that even in our internal testing, even before Alpha started, we found that the submarines were kind of I-win buttons. They were really powerful. It was hard to actually counter them, and it was to the point where we just felt they were too powerful. And so we've actually reduced their power, as I'm sure a lot of folks are aware. The short answer is that if you feel like we've reduced it too much, if XL Games needs to reevaluate them or to re-explore them, we want to hear about it. We want to hear how you feel we can actually do a happy medium between the previous and how we are currently, their current power level and their current changes. So that's the answer on that. Again, we want submarines to not be OP, we want them to just be P. That is kind of the short on that.
Sure.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining. Thrilled to talk to you again. And we will be back next week. And until then, have fun in Alpha and good luck out there. Okay. Yeah.